Okay. We never got the clap test going either. We never got that in because we couldn't get a solid stream.
All right.
But we're going now. Ready?
Ready.
Here's Season 2, Episode 9 of the Bronco Alumni Show. Starts now. Bam. Action.
Ready? All right. Well, welcome to Game 9, Boise State versus Wyoming today. It's a home game on the blue, and we have two special guests. Former wide receivers Tim Gilligan and Andre Banks. It's been a lot of wide receivers around here lately, so.
We the best.
That's right.
Did you remember that?
Of course, the wide receivers get all the credit, but we know who does all the real work.
I know, you're a lineman. I'm surprised you're letting somebody on the show.
You guys are going to say the quarterback,
The
right?
big hoggles, the big hosses up front.
Yep.
Get it done.
Well, it was a pleasure blocking to make plays so that you guys could make plays. I got to tell you, you guys always came through.
You guys are always the unsung heroes. Yeah. We can't do it without you big guys.
Well,
We're live from Suds. It's a little loud in here today, so it's a little more exciting than last week. We had 9 people in here last week, so.
Hey, you know.
Probably your guests.
Yeah.
and there's cue the music.
Yeah, right.
Well,
Also, we are having a little bit of technical difficulties this week. The stream will be probably cutting up or cutting in and out. So far, to this point, we've dropped about 95% of the frames that we've put out. This is not a good percentage, to be honest.
all right, well, let's hop this thing up, man. No more tech talk. Let's just take it
Come
away
on,
here.
man. You guys don't know what it takes to put this on. And also the fact that we're never going to be able to monetize this episode because I don't think Dr. Dre's gonna let us do that. I'm going to have my people hit him up.
A little bit. Hey, we got technology nowadays. We can drown that out somehow, right?
Yeah, I know. My cousin Jake will wash it.
I say just get sued by Dr. Dre. It helped the whole show out.
Frame that letter.
That might not be a bad move.
Yeah.
They wouldn't bother writing us a letter, I don't think.
Maybe just come in and take the track.
Basically, just remove your
All right, well,
whole YouTube page.
Well, this is really loud, but I guess we're going to work through it.
Yeah, we got headphones. We can hear.
Yeah, so my first question is, how do you guys feel about the basketball game tonight that's going on right in the middle of a football game?
It's always interesting how that goes down, but it's a way for the school to get people in the building at the basketball games early in the season when nobody really cares about basketball yet.
Well, I think it's away. It's an away game.
Yeah,
Well,
it's away.
Yeah,
It's
but
away.
I mean that's how basketball teams do it. They like to do Saturday games instead of doing it on Wednesday when it's early in the year.
All right.
So it's an easy way for schools to get people in the building early before their minds are really on basketball because, it's usually not until after the new year, after the bowl season, people don't really care about basketball yet, unless you're a Duke or Kansas fan.
I start caring when I fill up my bracket.
I just wait till March.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
No, I kind of wish the game was, would have been yesterday or is tomorrow, so that we can support the basketball team and watch them play a ranked Oregon Ducks team. And we've had success against them, and it's always been nice to watch us get those W's against them, especially when they're on their home court. So, I kind of wish it was on a different day, not tonight.
Maybe that's the Oregon conspiracy. They scheduled it during the game.
You know what?
They got to find a way to get a W against us. They don't have much luck against us.
When you're over against Big Blue over here, you got to do something.
That's right, Nike being a little shady over there. So, I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that, Nike. You do what you have to do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we support Nike,
Oh, yeah,
even though they don't support us. Anyway,
Yeah, we could have used them a little bit more when we were playing.
Yeah,
It's good to see them, now, but
we had that one season where we got the cool uniforms, remember?
yeah, our senior year,
Yeah.
2003.
Yeah, that was one of those finally we got something moments.
I mean, Riddell was cool.
We had Rydell, Russell, Reebok. We had all the R's.
Russell, yeah.
Any company
There was
with
no
the
Under
R.
Armour back then, huh?
No.
There was no wicking technology.
No.
It was more of a soak it up approach.
So as always, episode 9 of this season of the Bronco Alumni Show is brought to you by Suds Tavern. In honor of that, we'd like to say thank you to Ross and Bernie for letting us come down here and do this again. Playing all our favorite songs right in the middle of the show.
Absolutely.
It's really nice. And, I mean...
We just need people to start dancing in front of the camera.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and that brings us to our first official Bronco Alumni Show question. Do you guys have any favorite memories from Suds Tavern that you'd like to share with the people? The people want to know.
Only appropriate memories will come out of this place.
Only blurry ones, yeah.
I got a good one. My wife will appreciate this. This is where I met my wife. So, I mean, you always hear people saying you don't want to have meet your wife at a bar, but
Tim's living proof.
Yeah, I'm living proof that you can beat those odds by that. So we got to meet her here, and we've been together 10 years now, and it's been great. So
Congratulations.
That goes right in with their marketing slogan. Remember they had a couple that they took their engagement pictures outside because they met here. So
Perfect.
Suds making love connections.
Hey, man.
every year we come down and have a drink before we go out to dinner. So
Good things have always been happening at this place.
Yes. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
so if you're
amazing.
single and lonely, come on down to Suds. You might might find the one.
Although,
You never know.
I'm not sure too many married couples have ever met at Suds. You might be the first, so I'm sure you're you might be the outliers in that population.
that's good though. That's good.
Yeah, I know.
It,
It's
ma-
good.
Set the
it
precedent.
makes for a good Sud story.
You're an outstanding.
Oh, yeah.
should do
Dre, what
weddings
about
here.
you?
Well-
Anything you can remember from Suds that you'd like to share? Go on record.
I will. There's a lot,
Yeah.
but one that sticks out is one of the first times we did the Gridiron Social when there was probably 50 to 60 years of Bronco football alumni in one building, and somehow everybody made it from Bronco Stadium to Suds afterwards for an impromptu Bronco alumni after party. That was pretty fun.
That was fun. That was good. That was a good turnout that year.
Yeah. I mean, we had guys that played for Lyle Smith in the building, hanging out with dudes that just graduated the year before. So that was pretty cool. That was pretty fun to see that. You hear stories about these older guys, and sometimes you see them in the halls on the wall, but when you finally got to meet some of them and then they wanted to hang out and have a drink and come back to the old stomping ground, it was pretty fun to see that.
Well, and we're getting up there now. It's been 15, 16, 17 years since we've played now, so we're looking like how
We're the old guys.
yeah, we're the old guys, and so we're
Yeah.
feeling that age right now.
That's what OG stands for now, I realize. It's
Right?
old guy.
Old guy.
Man. They're definitely the guy. I have since I coach at Capitol High, I have some of these players of mine that call me the old head. That's what they say, you're an old head. I'm like, well, I don't feel that old, but I guess I am. It's been a while.
You've earned it.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
So speaking of Capitol High, the season ended yesterday. That's the rumor mill.
We got knocked out of the playoffs by Eagle High. Didn't have our greatest year, but we had a pretty good year. It's always fun to see the growth of the guys from the spring all the way through the football season. Ended a little shorter than we wanted it to, shorter than normal. We usually get to at least the semifinals most years, but got knocked out early this year, and it is what it is. That's sports, right? You got to settle it on the field. So just didn't get it done. Back to the drawing board for next season, I
There you
guess.
go. A lot of returning players next season.
We will. We'll have probably 8 to 9 that are going to be 3-year starters that all started as sophomores. They'll be starting again as a senior. And
So the build-up.
yeah, we have a good group. We had a good group this year, but I think next year we'll actually be oddly more athletic with younger guys. That normally doesn't make sense, but that's kind of how it's probably going to play out next season for us. So it'll be fun, you know.
Who do you think is going to take the title?
This season, man. So we got semifinals coming up, and I think we have Rigby, which is usually a unsung hero. They're not really known as a power in 5A football, but we have Rigby, Highland, Coeur d'Alene, and Rocky still left. And Rocky hasn't lost a game in almost 2 years. And Highland and Coeur d'Alene are always tough to beat, even if they've lost 5 games that year. For some reason in the playoffs, it's rough. So if I had to take my pick, I'm picking Rigby to lose to Rocky, and Rocky end up winning the state championship again. Undefeated 2 years in a row.
They've won it 2 years.
This will be the second year if they run the table again. Yeah.
Let's move on from high school to college football. Let's kind of recap last week's game there, the late night in San Jose. Your thoughts on the game last week, gentlemen?
I mean, San Jose's a sleeper place to play. We played them there my junior year, and even though the score didn't dictate how the game went, it was an ugly game for us. At least for me, I played horrible.
Is there some in the water there? Or?
I don't know. I mean, it's I know San Jose State watches film on us from the summer, and they watch it every week, no matter who they're playing.
The Super Bowl.
Yeah, so they prepare for Boise State every week, even though they're not playing them. And so I don't know if that plays a part in it, but it was good to see them run out the clock at the end of the game there and hold on, but it's always a anxiety-ridden game.
Well, we had last week I looked up, the first Fiesta Bowl team was 23-20. The undefeated team barely got out of there alive. So.
Yeah, I think 1 year we had to kick a field goal at the end of the year or at the end of the game to win too. When Coach Pete was here, I think.
Yeah, it's a weird place to play.
It is.
They don't have a lot of energy that's in their stadium, so it's one of those games where the team has to make their own energy and get going all on their own. They can't feed off the fan base or on how the vibe of the stadium is, so to speak. It's a tough place to play sometimes. And actually this year they actually have a really good team. From years past. I mean, they even beat an SEC team this year, which you would never think would happen. But
it honestly, it seemed like a pretty standard game for this season. Really, we start pretty flat, and the defense kind of keeps us in it, and then I don't know what happens in the second half. If the guys would wake up, they get desperate or pissed off, or how it works out, but. Maybe Coach Pittman's threatening people's lives on the sideline. That's the only way to get them motivated.
Coach Pete would get after you.
Yeah,
they've been doing some great second half adjustments.
Yeah, they have.
But
year. Man, I'm tired. I hate being a second half team. You guys know how it is. You're supposed to start fast, score early and score often. That's what one of the hallmarks of Bronco football.
But also, if you don't, then it's not how you start; it's how you finish. That's the halftime speech.
True.
Yeah. The second half of that is start fast, it's finish strong.
Yeah. If you start fast, it makes life easy on everybody, even the fans. Nobody's out there in the stands or watching TV stressing out, but at the end of the day, dude, if you don't finish, it doesn't matter how fast you start. So you got to get the best of both worlds to make it happen.
So your thoughts overall, I guess, on the team this year? I know there's the BYU loss that we've all kind of blocked out here, but still, I guess my question is chances. Their chances for the rest of the season. Where do you see this team going?
I can see them running the table. Are they going to do it in the fashion that we're somewhat used to over the last couple decades? Probably not. It's going to be a lot of ugly games as far as being close or not just thumping somebody, but I think they can run the table. They just don't have that, from outside looking in, I should say. There's not that edge that you're used to.
Not that swagger.
Right. I mean, there's guys out there that have it. Like my man Weaver, that dude has it. Whatever it is, he has all of it.
Well, that's usually my question to everybody this year. Do you think he stays or
He's gone.
okay? He's done.
No way he stays.
Yeah, no, he's going.
If he stays, I will go up to him and shake his hand and say thanks for one more year, but he ain't staying.
Yeah, I think I think nowadays with the knowledge that these players get and with finding out, where they grade at and everything, and then the risk of getting injured that following year, I think it's just too much of a risk for some of these kids to not go into the draft.
That's true. I mean, you can always come back and finish.
You strike while the iron's hot, and you get what you can get right when you can get it. So.
But then at the same time, there's a lot of talk about, well, maybe that I've heard about a lack of senior leadership on our Bronco team this year and also in years past. I mean, and you take a look at Alexander Madison, who has probably a bright career in the NFL ahead of him. From what I've seen him in the game so far, I mean, he would be a guy that would maybe provide that type of leadership on a team that's struggling with that right now.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, there's pros and cons, and, I mean, I'm not saying you should have stayed, because honestly, any one of us in that situation would probably have done something very similar, if not the exact same thing.
Right. When you're in those situations, when you're one of those few guys in college football that can't leave early, you got to make a decision on what's best for you. That's like the one time you kind of got to be a little selfish.
Do you think it was the right decision for him? I mean, to leave
Madison?
early to go be a backup?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think so.
I think he's getting enough playing time to prove his worth and show that he's worthy of a third-round pick.
Right.
He's had some nice publicity with some of his runs that he's had, even though some of his runs have been getting called back and stuff. But he's making a name for himself. I really like what I see.
He had one fumble, I think, this year too. But all over. I mean, you saw him make that catch last week where he was just out of bounds by a hair, with a spectacular catch, right?
It was, and that gets charted when guys are looking at what type of player he is.
Yeah.
So I mean,
He's looking like Tim Gilligan in the back of the end zone is what he was looking like.
Well, don't you have to also know, I mean, if he stays this year, his senior year, he's probably, got 10, 100 times the carries he has. His body would be taking a beating.
That was going to be my next point. He's almost, by leaving, added another 2 years to his career. Because, I mean, he was a workhorse.
Yeah.
By every definition of the word, he was a workhorse. And there's no indication that he would have been less of a workhorse this year.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, your body can only take so many hits.
Yeah.
Or the old that there's only so many football plays you have.
He had a
in your
couple
body.
of rough ones last season too in that Fresno game. Was it the championship in the game, right?
Yeah, he got lit up a couple times.
And I was told by a guy a long time ago, like, as a football player, you only have so many hits in you. And when you're a running back or you're a lineman, offense or defense, that total rises very fast.
Yeah.
So,
And that'll affect the way you play. Because everyone's out there. I remember in high school when I took a hit and I never played the same after that.
yeah.
I was like, I'm not going to do that again. Never. We're going to approach that differently.
You get taught too that you don't show any weakness. You get hit, you got that adrenaline going, and you get going, and you get up, and you don't show that it hurts you or whatever. You kind of acknowledge the fact that it was a good hit, and you move on. But there was a couple times when I was up in Canada, and I took a couple hits by not college kids. These were grown men. And I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? So Dre, you're saying you only have a few hits in you. That's definitely the truth to that.
Yeah, I took a hit last Thanksgiving in the two-hand touch game. Gee, that was vicious.
Hey, those can be dirty.
Yes,
Those can be dirty.
Those
You got
turkey
both
bowls
hands
is no
on me.
joke.
You don't have targeting penalties in those games.
No ref out there.
You can't sleep on the turkey bowl.
I know. A lot of anger in those games.
That's your one shot.
Trying to relive a lot of highlights from back in the old
Yeah,
days
a lot
there.
of family therapy out there. There's a lot of things going on, man.
That's right.
Football's the least of them.
Oh, that's funny.
So, Dre, I've got you next to me. I want to address a controversy you recently started on Facebook.
Oh, which one?
The one where you were scolding people that were getting excited for Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's Thanksgiving, man.
Yeah, that brings up our topic here, Thanksgiving versus Christmas.
Listen,
Thanksgiving, 100%.
I love all holidays equally. That's why I take them step by step. You know, you get to Halloween and you enjoy every single bit of it. We have a Halloween party at Gilligan's house every year. We've been doing that for about 5-6 years now.
Yeah.
And I enjoy every bit of
And
it.
there's no Thanksgiving talk during it.
Not a single bit. And when we finish that, now we're on to Thanksgiving, and there ain't a single light bulb, garland, anything going
Sleigh.
up. Nothing going up in the Banks household until after Thanksgiving. I enjoy
So there
it.
is no holiday hierarchy, in your opinion? Like,
No.
Which ones get left out? Like, you got to be like at least Halloween, 4th of July.
Oh, 4th of July is big time.
But what about like Valentine's Day?
No. My wife, I am one of the lucky few men on this earth that has a wife that does not care for Valentine's Day. So I kind of lucked out in that respect, but
You're lucky.
yeah. But you know, I do my own stuff throughout the year on a random Tuesday.
Yeah, you got to.
Send her some edible arrangements. Make her feel special at the office place.
You guys could do a show here at
Yeah, that's a
like
great
Love
idea.
Tips. How to meet and
Now would be a good
establish
time
relationship.
to plug our edible arrangement sponsor if we had one. So
Soon to come. Soon to come.
So send us an email at sunsportsnetwork@gmail.com. My phone number is also on the website.
But honestly, I just enjoy all the holidays. So I just feel like, you know, everybody's so amped up for Christmas.
What about Memorial Day and
let's
Labor
deal with
Day?
it.
So you're like a true coach, like one holiday at a
One
time. Let's
holiday at a
stay
time,
focused
fellas.
on this holiday in front of us.
Let's focus.
What about Memorial Day and Labor Day?
Memorial Day and Labor Day are great holidays to have an extra day off to drink on the weekend.
And we got Veterans Day coming up. Shout
And
out to all the
Veterans
veterans
Day.
out
Yeah.
there and everybody supporting, securing our country.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's what it's for.
Oh, especially my brother Josh. He's going to be rotating back from Afghanistan here in the next few weeks.
Okay,
Oh,
Josh.
yeah,
We're excited to
Thank you,
have him
Josh.
back. Yeah, for real.
Yeah, we have, you know, we have a lot of holidays. I just enjoy them all. And I use them to spend extra time with friends and family, and I have fun with it. Facebook's a good thing.
I'm
for me
going to
get
throw
people
you
riled
out
up a
there.
little bit.
I'm just going to say, this year, if your decorations aren't ready, it's a short year, man. December comes quick after Thanksgiving, so
It does.
you better be ready.
Day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday, we throw it up.
You're not chopping.
No, we
You're getting
throw it
ready.
up.
All right.
We don't waste too much time.
Go
We just get after
Cyber
it.
Monday. Cyber Monday, John.
Yeah, no.
We're on the next level here.
I'm glad we got that cleared up. That was bothering me.
But now everybody's poking fun at me and sending me these memes of Christmas and everything. It's fun though. It's fun.
I enjoyed it.
There's not a lot of people out there that will poke the bear. Dre likes to poke the bear.
I do.
I see that. It's fun though. Somebody's got to start the conversation.
Get the blood pressure going a little bit, make you feel alive.
Facebook
Okay, I
is
got
a
it.
place for fun.
I got my next big question. I've been wondering. So out of all the wide receivers that you guys played with, who had the best jump shot?
Man, that's a tough one. I remember you sending that question over, and I still couldn't figure it out when I was sitting there reading the question. But
You know
I got a
what?
pretty sweet jump shot. I'm not gonna lie.
Tim could play a little bit.
I got the three and the deep three covered. But my mid game's a little suspect.
Yeah.
But I'll shoot the J.
But pure jump shot, like
I can
form,
shoot it a little bit.
execution.
Out of all the wide receivers,
Yes.
Like all time?
No.
Okay.
Like that you played with,
With our group,
or that you played basketball with.
I'll tell you this. We all could hoop.
It's not Jeb. Jeb was on the basketball
Jeb
team.
was not a jump shooter. Jeb was an athlete.
Oh, okay.
There's
Yeah.
So
Jeb
he was
could get
like,
to the rim. He could jump out the building. Same with Swilly. Swilly could jump.
oh yeah.
He could bounce. Be Real had a little bit of game to him. But
He always spent more time warming up than he did actually playing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he was stretching and getting those knees warmed up. I don't know. That's a tough question. If I had to
I
really
can't remember
call it-
about Billy.
No, Billy can't shoot.
No, he can't shoot.
Billy-
Okay, all right.
Billy's not a hooper.
We
He's
know
probably the only
Lou.
one.
We know Lou ain't in the
He ain't a
conversation.
hooper either. It's probably between me and Tim. We might have to do a shoot-off later on this year to figure it out.
Okay, and
Between
then
the
the
two of
follow-up to that one was same question, but who had the crossover?
Ooh.
Why don't you just say overall game?
best.
Who's the best player?
No, there's different things, man. There's
Yeah,
different
well,
aspects.
I don't know as far as a wideout was concerned, but I know Juice and Chris Carr had handles.
Juice, Chris
okay.
Carr, and
They had handles.
don't sleep on my man Wes Nurse. Wes Nurse
Oh.
could
Yeah,
hoop.
Wes. Yeah, forgot about Wes.
Wes Nurse could hoop.
Wes had also jump out the building.
Yes.
Wes and Deshaun Kabong. Shout out to Deshaun, Idaho State Police.
That's right. My man, Locke High School.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh, we played them in high school.
Yeah, man.
They,
Yeah.
they're at their whole stadium, their football stadium on lockdown, like
Hey,
walking
that's
through the
still to this day.
walking through the metal detectors and all that.
Locke High is one of those spots.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But it was
we
nice
had
to
a lot
say.
of hoopers in our wide receiver room though. We had some athletes that we did a lot of things. Then we had guys like Tim that were baseball dudes. Brian O'Neill was a big baseball player too. So
What position did Brian play?
I think Brian played center field.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, but he was because Brian had speed. He had wheels.
Oh, I remember very,
run.
very much that Brian was, he could get open. All you guys could get open. Had a knack for just running the plays that were drawn up and designed for you guys to get open. And we had this conversation before with Jay, and he was saying, like, it wasn't even fair. It was like, the coaches would know exactly how everybody would react to every little wrinkle you guys put in every play, and the guy was open, that was supposed to be open every single time.
I'm gonna tell you something that was different about our group of wide receivers. We were probably the most unselfish group of dudes. Like there'd be a game where one of us would have 7-8 catches for 150 plus, and somebody else in the room would have one catch for 3 yards, and nobody cared. Did we win? That was it, right? And then in the same boat, the next week, the guy that had one catch might have had 10 the following week. It was just, but we were unselfish, but we all bought into each other, and we all had different strengths and weaknesses, and our coaches figured that out. And we had dudes that were just willing to play the part and play your role that week and get open.
That was the thing. That key word right there. Role
Yeah.
players.
We had a good group, and I know I'm a little biased, but up until this season, this is the first time I felt like there was a group of receivers, not one or two guys, but I mean like the whole group of wide receivers that compares to our group.
So that's for a group, a unit, like a wide receiver unit, to have that selflessness, you would say, is that common? Is that a common thing, or you think it's rare in a position? Because as far as the offensive line perspective, a good offensive line is going to have that selfless attitude. And there's not going to be just 5 of them. There's going to be like 6 or 7 that are always pushing each other and have each other's back. If somebody goes down, and they can step in and just make it happen. But would you say that's a little less likely or rare in a wide receiver core? or like, because you guys sound like you guys were special.
I think it depends. I mean, like, it depends on the team. Like, if you got a team, like Washington State, where they throw the ball 40, 50 times a game, but you got a team like Boise State that likes to run it, that has amazing running backs year in and year out. It's like what Dre said. You got to buy into the system and buy into what we were doing, and whoever's roles had, whichever role you have, that was what your strength was, and the coaches utilized that. And so I think, to me, it just depends on the team.
And I don't want to say it's rare, but there's a kind of like a somewhat of a bad rap, the wide receiver diva, everybody. We open every play, and we're open every play.
Every play.
Every play.
Every play.
Even on run plays, we open.
I was waving my hands. I was in the back of the end zone.
But see that juke move? You didn't see that?
Yeah. The truth is, though, like, how do you want to win or do you want to have stats? That's the question every receiver in every receiver room, college or pro, has to ask themselves. Or do you care about your stat sheet, or do you care about putting W's in the win column? In our group, that's all we cared about. But we also knew if we balled out, we were going to win. And guys like Bart Hendricks and Ryan Dinwiddie, B.J. Rhodey made our life even easier because they were dudes. Those guys throwing the ball made our life super easy.
And our coaches were so good at scheming teams up and putting us in positions just to be successful. We really, all we had to do was just go out and execute what was drawn up. I mean, I said it from the get-go. We had the best coaches from top to bottom of them having their roles too, and them knowing their personnel and what our strengths is as a whole. And so that plays a big part of it too.
Our coaches were good, but I will tell you something else that I don't think some people realize is the group of DBs that we had no choice but to be good. You know what I mean? Like, we had Dempsey D's, D. Ross, Shenard Hartz, Quentin Michael, Chris Carr, Gabe Franklin, Deshaun Kabong. Like, we had dudes, Wes Nurse. I mean, these dudes are NFL players.
Julius Brown.
Juice Brown, yeah. We had NFL DBs at practice that we had no choice but to figure out how to beat. And then, honestly, because of that, when the games came, Saturday night was easy because we had a scheme. We had some awesome coaches. We had a scheme, and then we were playing against DBs that weren't anywhere near the guys that we had to look at practice every day.
It was like swinging a weighted bat.
That's
what you're saying?
Pretty much.
That's a true story. Like, when they talk about when it comes to game time, game days are easy. We made practices hard. I mean, practices were competitive. There was trash talking. There was, I mean, you were pushing everybody to your limit. And that made us so much more better.
I know when we had inside run on offense, that'd be the only time the ones saw the ones on the offensive line. But were you guys taking reps against the ones-on-ones like every practice?
We did ones-on-ones a lot more than linemen did.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. Okay. And honestly, to tell you the truth, a lot of our coaches wouldn't have let us go against 2s and 3s.
Okay.
They wouldn't let us do it. And to be honest, if you weren't Chris Carr, Gabe Franklin, Dempsey, or Q, I didn't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Like, going on one-on-ones, if you weren't Julius Brown, I didn't want to go against you. I mean, we had other really good DBs, but I wanted to go against the best dudes to make myself better. So, but that's why the competition got real high, and that's also why some of us are best friends now, because of how we competed and how we went after each other and practice every day. And you just develop a respect for one another. And then when you see the product on the field on Saturday, and you see Julius D'ing guys up and Shenard Hart pick sixes and Chris Carr locking dudes up, you're like, there it is.
When it came to practice, like I said, we were competitive and we were making things hard. But when it went on the game day, you guys, I mean, you were the best friends in the world,
Yep.
and you had that, and you had their back, and you were going to do whatever it took to get that win and do whatever it is to protect your teammates.
You know, I was thinking about Chenard the other day because I saw a Facebook post he put up. And you know how he's the wig splitter, right?
Big splitter.
I was like, man,
Oh, yeah.
Chenard probably couldn't play in the NFL anymore because he was just. He was,
His style does not bode well
No.
for this style of play today.
I don't think. I mean, he would get fined every week. It's like a
He'd be
vicious,
suspended, and
Yeah.
Like-
suspensions and ejections would go down.
yeah.
So but he was a man. I'm telling you what, that guy.
I'm glad he
was
never
tough.
put it on me. He never had to put it on me.
I got lucky too. I never got to get hit by him. I got hit by Brian Johnson once, and that was enough. I didn't want to get hit by anybody else.
Dude, when I went to his house just earlier this season, he was showing me all these bent face masks that he had from the Chicago Bears and the Washington Redskins.
That's awesome.
He had like 10 or 11 of them, dude. He's like, yeah, they ordered me some titanium ones.
Yeah, that dude was.
That,
he was a man.
Now that's cool.
Yeah.
That's a story right
Yeah.
there. That's cool.
That was pretty cool.
Brian Johnson, shout out to my man BJ. He was a dude, big time player.
Yeah. Oh, man. Man, it's really loud in here. I apologize for all this background noise.
I know. It's the most jumping it's been.
Pretty
Yeah, it's
bad.
a good atmosphere today.
It is a good
Game
atmosphere.
day.
It's a big game.
Nice weather,
Big game.
Yeah.
little late start.
You know what? The nice weather is helping out this late start thing right now.
Definitely.
Because it could very easily be 20 degrees or lower and snowing right now.
So, speaking of that, what do you think we can do to get away from that, man? How do we get to, like, college prime time? Afternoon, early evening? I mean, early evening is going to be, like, some big Pac-10 game or SEC game almost every week. But, man, those early games, remember we used to play, like, 1:30?
1
Whenever.
o'clock.
That was the best, man.
That was also before we
4
had the
o'clock was
ESPN.
like a late game.
Yeah. That was before we had the ESPN contract money, too, though.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't think there is a way that we're going to get away from it unless, I mean, we go to a different conference, which ain't going to be in the near future, if you ask me. And there's some other different type of contract with network television from there. You know, I don't see any other way around it.
The only
We might
way
get one game during the day, but not
well, yeah,
not
that's
all the
what,
time.
That's what we've been pushing for. Our theory is if you could write in the contract, one game, home game, September, October. So at least you have one family day. You can bring the kids out. They can play out in the sun.
Yeah. I want that 1 o'clock game, though, to be in November.
Yeah, because it's cold at
Yeah.
night.
Hey, I wouldn't mind an 11 o'clock game.
Oh, no, yeah. That's earlier.
Start the early games. I mean, I
Get it in.
wouldn't have a problem with that. I think people would like that.
Yeah. That's the hardest part is the late games are based on the ESPN time slot. We're making a lot of money with that contract, but we're like, we won't get that primetime game until we're in the Big 12 or the Pac-12, like TCU. TCU had the late games, too, until they got into a big conference. Now they're playing at 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock every Saturday.
Well, they do play Colorado State at 1:30, but that's the day after Thanksgiving, and it's
Right.
away. So,
Right.
if you take that theory, like there's got to be one in there. They find one every year. Can it be here?
Yeah. That's what we want. We need it at home, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But
you need
it's
to take
tough.
care of the fans. Everyone talks about how they're the greatest fans of college football, and they are, but, I mean, man, they be getting the shaft for
It's still showing up.
Quite
but
a while.
It's tough.
I would say this year has been much, much better as far as the fans staying late. And the student section has been awesome.
They've been great.
Man.
They have been
Yeah,
great.
Shout out to the students.
Yeah.
They're
the corral.
getting
right?
organized. Yeah, they're on the
stepping on
news
up,
and
yeah.
everything.
Actually, I went to what game was it? The Hawaii game, and some students came up and sat in some seats next to us and said we're overflowed. They told us to go anywhere in the stadium.
Listen,
like,
I
wow.
I sit across from the student section most games, and they were there for the whole game.
Nice.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
It
that's
was
how you
good to
start
see.
filling up the stadium. Like
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
one of our questions. How do you fill up the stadium? Like, well, they've got a bunch of students that stay on campus.
Yeah. Take care of the students.
I know. Pack it in there.
Yeah,
I mean,
pack them in.
at that point, those are the people you're going to get at an 8 o'clock game. I mean,
Right.
students. So why not make it almost accessible to them to sit almost anywhere?
Yeah, the hard part is that you gotta cater to your sponsorship.
That's true.
tickets,
You got to give the
some of
adults
your-
their
some of your general and so it's tough. There's a lot of ways to do it. I don't know if there's a 100% right answer, but there's a lot of right things that we can do to change some of this, and one of them I say is sell beer.
Well, yeah, the ruling
Yeah.
just came down not too recently. Now it's
Leave it up to the
the
university.
President Trump. It's all on her shoulders.
Sell beer.
Now, we've gone back and forth with this. If they sell beer, I would assume that they would have a no readmission policy to keep you locked in there. That'd be the trade-off.
I would agree
I'd be
with that.
fine with that because a lot of the times the reason that people are leaving at halftime is to go get more booze.
Yep.
Well,
To
you
go
would
back
have
out to their tailgate.
And they're not coming back
Yeah.
in.
They get out there, they get a nice little warm shot in their chest, and they end up staying out there. They don't come back in because I mean, realistically, halftimes when you're a fan, you're walking out and then you're there, and then all of a sudden the second half is starting. And you're like, I just got out here.
It happens quick.
Yeah. So halftimes really don't last that long.
We really spoiled the fans, guys, when the game was over at halftime back in the early 2000s.
I know that
We did.
Yeah.
So I
We
mean,
did.
we can only blame ourselves.
Maybe that's why they started scheduling the game late. Because everybody's going like it's over at 10. Start at 9.
Let's just get out of here.
Well, but the other part of that is you would have to stop selling beer like at the end of halftime.
Yeah,
Right?
start of the third, I think,
Well,
is typical.
a lot of
yeah.
stadiums I've been to that do sell beer, they're somewhere in the third quarter. They're shutting
Midway,
down
they do a
shop.
last call
Yeah.
or something like that. Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, I actually saw Colorado State. I think it's 7 minutes and 25. It's a weird,
Yeah.
like, bet.
Yeah.
Well,
But
that
it
works.
makes sense though. It keeps people engaged because let's be honest, football is one of those sports. It's like soccer. Like people like to drink while they watch and before and after. So
And during.
and during. So if they
No.
can't have a drink the whole first half, what they end up doing is taking off and going down to the tailgate. Take off and go down to the tailgate,
And then come to Suds after.
yeah,
If
that's
it's
always
a win,
zone.
usually.
that's always the
Those
next
Suds,
step.
yeah.
I don't know, like, if we're advertising, everybody drinking at the stadium, is Suds going to get angry here? They're gonna-
No, I
because
think it'd be
we'll
better.
We'll always have the pre and post parties.
That's true.
And I think it'd be better because more people are going to go out if we win, and if we have the second half crowd in a tight game, it does affect the outcome.
That's true.
Because to be honest, the most fans when they leave though, they're like Tim said earlier, they're going down to the tailgate. They're still in the stadium parking lot. They just haven't made their way back, or they decided they're not going back
Well,
because of the score, or because they're like, oh, well, we'll just watch it out here on TV by the RV and I'll have my drinks.
I do notice when you watch on ESPN, those cameras get real tight in the fourth quarter. Real tight on the sidelines.
Yes, they do. And if you pay attention to a lot of those late games, not just Boise State, but I mean, sometimes those MAC schools and those AAC schools are in those late time slots too, and they have the same issues that we're having. They're late start games, and fans are leaving early.
I guess those games are meant to be watched from your bed.
I'm gonna make a beer run. I'll be right back to you guys.
You can grab me one while you're
Hold
out?
it down. Don't let this go off the rails, John.
I think I can handle
Okay,
it.
sounds good.
The music is sending off the rails, so we're already good.
I will say the music is on point.
Whoever has hold
On
of the jukebox is
point.
doing the thing tonight. Doing the thing.
It is. It's
It's got some Warren G and some Juvenile. This is the music that we went to
Listen,
college
Bob,
with. I
let's
think
go.
they knew we were
Yeah.
coming.
This right here was on my game day playlist.
Yep.
So you guys are running the jukebox.
Yeah, we probably are secretly.
Yeah.
Are you guys going to the game tonight?
I'll be going in. Me and my wife. My in-laws have season tickets, and they've had tickets since '85. So
Good old days.
they're in there, and me and my wife, we have season tickets now too, so we sit next to them.
All right.
So
So
we-
you're a regular.
Yeah.
You're not just fly-by fan. Will you be at the New Mexico game then?
Well, honestly, I like to just tailgate because I can watch the game a little easier on TV than I can live. I get a little in my feelings when I'm watching it live most of the time, to be honest. But but this year I've gone to a lot more games. I normally go to like 1 or 2 away games and 1 or 2 home games a year. But this year I think I've been to every one, and I drove down to the BYU game also.
Oh wow, dedicated.
The wife loves them, so.
Oh, all right.
Why not take a road trip?
Didn't it rain on you guys for like an hour before that game started or something like that?
It rained the whole drive down. It rained the whole time before the game, during, and after.
Oh, it was really?
It maybe stopped for like 35, 40 minutes during the game.
Man, I remember when we went down there in 03, remember it was some crazy weather too, Tim. It was like...
Which game?
The BYU game.
Oh, yeah. We had snow.
Snow right before and during.
And then the BYU field crew decided to turn on the sprinklers to see if they could get rid of the snow on the field. So we had ice.
Oh, nice.
We had ice on the field along with the snow.
Sliding on that and like my arm going numb.
Yeah.
Instantly.
That's the smartest field crew in football history.
Yeah.
Let's water a snow-covered field.
They got that on TV too. They had Coach Hawk standing in the tunnel watching the sprinklers go on the field, and the look on his face was priceless.
Let's just create an ice rink now, guys. Let's play hockey instead of football tonight.
And we were like, all right, screw it, whatever. We'll play on whatever, I guess.
You had a game that day too, didn't you, Tim?
A pretty good game.
Yeah.
I wasn't very smart during the game, though. I didn't drink enough water. I started cramping up. So I wasn't smart during the game. So be that a lesson to you, future football players. That, when it's cold, you still got to drink some water.
Yes. All you young high school kids out there.
Pro tip of the day. Not pro. College tip.
Hydrate.
Hydration.
That I will say that's one of the hardest things to get kids to do in sports is hydrate.
Yeah, I don't think we fully understood it until we were in college.
No, absolutely not. So I get it when I tell my kids to hydrate and they drink like 1 bottle. Dude.
They think they're good.
It's August and it's 105 degrees out here and you had like 1 bottle of water in 2 days.
Like, Coach, I've been drinking Mountain Dew all day.
Yeah, I had
good.
I had
you
soda.
wish you could just take all your wisdom when you see a little kid? Like, if I could just put it in you. There you go.
Yeah.
You would be crushing this.
Some of the kids get it. I'm like, hey, I was in your shoes. I did this for a long time. Trust me.
Well, you need to get those really bad cramps, I think, to really hammer it home. Because there's nothing like waking up and your hamstring just being tied in a knot or on a field, and then your calf is just...
I learned in my senior year in high school, we were in Vegas. And we had a game up in Vegas when I was in high school. And my leg cramped up worse than I've ever could have imagined. Middle of the night. I couldn't go back to sleep. It's like 2 hours. My leg just locked up, and that was the moment I was like, okay, water is for real. Like,
I didn't have a cramp until I was a junior, and it was the U of I games, the opening game of the season. And I ran a corner route to the end zone, and my calf cramped up, and I just dropped like I got shot
by a sniper in the press box.
And I was just rolling on the side. I didn't even know how to react to such pain. And then looking down and seeing your calf muscle just total flexed, and you don't even know what to do. You just kind of flop like a fish.
It's the strangest feeling to have a really bad muscle cramp, but it's all in hydration and stretching and taking care of your body. I think nowadays, though, more kids are understanding that. Yeah, more people are taking care of their bodies, even at the
There's a lot more information. Out there, just for every level down.
Right.
Guys like you out there just yelling it now. Like,
well, it's came a long way because my dad telling me stories when he was playing, like drinking water was considered a weakness.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So they weren't allowed to drink water in high school and in college.
It was a reward.
Yeah, it was like, you haven't worked hard enough to drink water yet. Or we're 30 minutes in practice and you need water, like you're being weak.
Yeah.
And now it's like you're drinking as much water as possible any time of the day, all through practice. And there's certain states at the high school level, and I know Texas and Georgia and Florida are 3 states for sure. They have mandatory water breaks throughout the game, every Friday night.
Oh, like stop.
There is a mandatory timeout for water in these high humidity states.
yeah,
I never had even my junior coaches were always just watering us down constantly. Like one thing I remember too, they would bring little bottles of honey on game day and just give us shots of sugar right before we run out on the field.
Yeah.
That was a classic move too, but mostly water that they would drink. Well, Gatorade was big back in the day. The big jug of Gatorade that one dad would bring like one big jug of Gatorade. Everybody would go drink out of his cooler instead of the water.
When I was in Pop Warner, we had a coach that would buy us like these big 6-packs of Jolt. You guys remember Jolt?
Oh, Jolt.
Yeah.
Oh my God. We were like these.
That's illegal now, right?
It probably should be, because we were like little 10, 11-year-old kids on
Jolt
high
and
running around.
no-dos.
It's like the precursor to energy drinks.
That's
This
exactly
team has
what
a lot
they
of
were.
energy.
We
Yeah.
were running.
Ready to go.
Oh, another quick question I want to throw out there before I forget. Tim, what was it like being Turner's roommate, redshirt freshman year?
It was
Tower apartment.
just fine. You were an introvert. You would come home and
Wasn't bringing a lot of girls home, huh? No problems there.
There was no strangers. There's nothing, no strange coming into the place with me and Josh looking at each other going like, well, who was that? Is that the flavor of the week? You know, we
What are you talking about?
never had
man?
to deal with any of that.
No tie on the door, huh?
You just came in the kitchen, fixed yourself something to eat, went back into your room, and
Quiet.
then you gave us the occasional ride to practice, and you had a brand new Ford truck,
Yeah.
and it was kind of funny when it would rain, you'd put it in 4-wheel drive.
And then go drive it.
You California drivers would get real scared of the weather here, and you put it in 4-wheel drive.
Really? I don't remember
But I felt
that.
safe with you. I felt safe with you.
Oh yeah.
We were city kids. We had to get used to this.
Now I love driving my little front wheel drive in the snow, man. That's so much fun. Dude.
Yeah, no, you were a good roommate, Jason. Right?
Aw, thanks, man.
That's
'Cause
not
you're-
exciting, though. is
I
it?
know, man. I was hoping it was gonna get
I know.
like a little
R-rated?
behind the scenes.
And I can't. And I've tried really, really hard to think of something. The only thing I could think of was the four-wheel
rain.
drive in the rain.
I think I was just excited because it was on the fly. I could just
Yeah. You didn't have to go turn the hubcaps.
Yeah, it was pretty slick.
We all had one of those roommates though that got stories.
Yeah.
We all had that one. My very first roommate that I had was some kid. He wasn't an athlete. And I lived with him for about 2.5 weeks, and I was like, I gotta get out of here. I mean, the dude had murder mysteries.
Oh, he was
and
planning something.
He had a whole bookshelf full of them, but he was the biggest OCD individual I've ever seen up until that point. And I remember Q used to come into the room and move the guy's pencil, and then we would leave, and then we would come back, and the pencil was back in the same spot. Like, it was insane. Well, yeah,
So he must have enjoyed you.
No, he hated me.
Yeah.
I'm sure he did. And he probably hated all my friends that came in there, so we were like, all right, I got to get out of here.
So you initiated the move?
I did.
All right.
He made me nervous.
Don't they put you sports guys together?
They normally do, but that year there was kind of like this odd thing where about 3 or 4 of us had another roommate that wasn't an athlete or even on the team.
All right.
But that lasted about 2.5 weeks, and I had something to say, and then they put me and Magic together, and that was it.
I know. I thought Magic was gonna work his way on the show this weekend too.
We tried.
Yeah.
We
really?
tried.
We
We tried.
He likes to stay out of the camera's eye and the
really?
microphone's grip.
Yeah,
Really?
Well, this is the perfect show. Nobody watches it. It's fine.
Facebook is about as social as he
Right,
gets.
right.
There you go.
Yeah, he's got a lot to say. I know he's got a lot to say.
Oh yeah.
He does, but he likes to say it to us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or himself.
Well, Chris, we'd love to have you on the show.
Yeah.
If
Oh,
you're
you
li-
can
if
call
you're
him
gonna
too
listen.
if he doesn't want to get off the couch. We got a
You know what?
hotline
We should
here.
try to
do have
make
a
that
hotline.
happen. But yeah, when that little weird dorm thing happened, it was like we were inseparable, a big group of guys, and Tim included. Tim came in the year after that, and we've been friends ever since. I mean, we're like, what, 20 years strong right now?
20 years.
Which is crazy. Me and Tim are kind of living this. I wouldn't have thought this 20 years ago, but we're living this weird. We live in the same neighborhood. Kids are growing up together, going to the same school thing.
Same daycare.
Yeah, it's weird. Wives are really good friends. You know, like it's.
Literally, we're like a 5-minute walk away from each other.
Yeah.
It's just
Which is great.
because you can go over when you're having a night. You can go over there and just have a couple drinks and then walk home.
Yep.
That's pretty slick.
Oh,
Yeah.
Where's this neighborhood? I'm thinking of moving, so.
It's the
Sure-
83704 out there. West Boise.
Sherwood West.
But yeah, it's funny because my mom was telling me, and I never thought about this. My mom was like, "You're really blessed with the friends that you have," and I'm like, "Everybody has good friends, right?" But her point was like, "You got dudes that you've been friends with for 20 plus years, and you guys get along great. Your families get along great. You guys go on trips together." And there's no end in sight. You know, it's awesome. But that kind of stuff wouldn't have happened without sports. That's kind of one of the best things that I take away from sports is that you build a bond with a group of people, and it kind of stands the test of time. Because even some of the guys that we don't see on a daily basis or often, when we do see each other, it's almost like we never had any time apart, you know what I mean?
Well, and that's the culture that Boise State created for us too. So I mean, it wasn't just us players-wise. It was the school, it was the coaches, it was the teachers.
We hear it here every week. We hear like the same names and the same hellos.
Listen,
Yeah.
man, I'm gonna tell you what. That's one of the biggest reasons that I decided to come here when I was coming out of high school. I was literally here for like 2 days on a recruiting trip, and I called my dad like, "This is it." And it was because it felt like a big family. It just felt like a big unit of people and this big network that you couldn't break. And I mean, I felt that very quickly. So that was one of the things, and it's held true. I mean, I went out to New Jersey to go hang out with Q last month, and I have friends that play college ball in other places, and they don't do stuff like that. I talk to Q and Tim literally every single day.
You went out and visited Q this year, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you were just saying?
Yeah.
How did that go? What'd you guys do?
It was awesome, man. So I do a little business out there. I take care of the Clearview youth football and cheer teams, and I do online stores and also do sports uniforms. So I take care of them, and it's partial business trip, partial pleasure trip to go hang out with the buddies.
The best.
Yeah, and this year my wife tagged along, and I did a little business stuff for about a day, and then we hung out for the next 3 days, and just did some family stuff and just hung out, just caught up and enjoyed finally being in each other's presence versus being on the phone.
Yeah.
You know?
I bet you guys did not go to a Giant game.
We did not.
Yeah, because I talked to Q and he made fun of the Giants. So now he lives in their homeland.
Yeah,
So.
yep. But it's one of those things. We have a strong connection with a lot of guys, and I just think Boise State's kind of been that special place for a lot of us.
You did go to a football game though.
I did go to a football game.
Tell us about the atmosphere. I heard it was quite the atmosphere at Q's son's Pop Warner game.
Yeah, Q coaches his son's youth football team. His son is a beast, by the way. I will say that.
He's a little Q.
The kid plays tight end and defensive end, and he's a tough one. But yeah, it was fun. Youth football, you know. And, you know, some of the coaches and parents of certain programs. Jason, I know you've seen this too. That they seem to act like we're playing in the Super Bowl when it's 10-year-olds out there, and they get in their feelings. And they
Speaking of seeing some crazy stuff on the field, Derek Burrell posted that
I
fight
saw the brawl
on like a Northern California team, right? Central California team.
Yeah.
But some kid just got beat down by like his whole team, and I was like, man, where are his teammates? Like that's the question I saw you had.
I asked Derek the same question.
That's the same question because
Well,
I know if my teammate was getting busted up like that, I would have been right in the middle of it.
Unfortunately, there's some high schools and some neighborhoods that don't deserve to have a team, and that's one of those schools, you know. They just don't deserve it. But they always have a problem when people come in and, you know, like Jason's seen this. We both grew up in LA, and there's some high schools, they play games at 3 o'clock for a reason. And there's a police presence. It's unfortunate that it has to be like that at some places.
Keep it under control.
Yeah. But that's what it is. But yeah, when I was out in New Jersey, it was fun. I watched a little youth football and had to try to calm some adult nerves down. People getting a little too amped up over a 10-year-old.
Was Q one of them?
Q he's a head coach.
Intense?
So
he's an intense
he
head
is
coach?
an intense coach.
No, I coach in youth sports. You have to say over and over again, development. It's about development.
Yeah.
It's about to just get better. Like, we don't care. Nobody ever asked you what your 5th grade score was. Like what was the score of that game? What was your record in 5th grade?
And that's a battle that I know Q deals with on a weekly basis with some of his parents that aren't happy with the outcome or aren't happy with how much they won by or how much their kid played. But I've been to a couple of practices out in New Jersey and a few games, and those kids love being coached by him. They love it. And
that community loves Q.
Yeah, again, thank you, Q, for calling in to the show the other day when we didn't have a guest on location. They really saved our butts. Told us a cool story about Eli Manning. I don't know if you guys heard it when you picked him up. It was a great episode.
His first pick, yeah. Over
that
Jeremy
being
Shock.
said,
Jeremy Shockley.
Jeremy Shockey, Eli Manning. Yeah,
I know.
that was a good story. One of the highlights of this season, definitely.
Oh yeah. Old stale
But
face.
We're gonna be wrapping it up here pretty soon. I just wanted to ask you guys real quick because it looks like the spread is up to 16.5.
Started at 11.
The
People
over
are
under
confident in Boise State.
the over under being 48.
ooh,
Yeah,
I'm taking the over.
I'm taking the over.
yeah.
taking the over.
Do you think at some point they're going to try to make a little statement here? I mean, now you lost to BYU. You had a tight game against San Jose. Maybe you just want to come out and.
Well, I think Wyoming is considered to be better than both of those teams, so now it would be a good chance to really kind of head into the last leg of the season.
That quick start, that elusive quick start we've been waiting
come
for.
on, let's get after it, guys.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go conservative this week. My final score prediction is going to be, I'm going to do, I don't think they're going to cover 16.5, but they are going to do the over. It's going to be 28-24.
Whoa, you're calling it close.
Yeah.
Hey, Wyoming does play us close, though. Wyoming does play us close every year.
Oh, look
Hey,
at
Wingfield.
Wingfield.
Popping in here.
Billy Wingfield in the building.
Billy, thanks.
Just talking about him.
One of the group.
The moment. Chilling, bro. How you doing, man? It's see you in a minute, man.
So I'm thinking definitely taking the over, and I'm thinking it's going to be another.
Hey, Billy's going to give a score here.
Okay.
Give me the score for tonight.
A lot to a little.
That's the Bronco way right there.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. That's interesting. You guys are both right here because I think Billy set a record one year that Tim broke the following year, like immediately after, right?
Yeah, he did.
Season,
Right? Their single season, yeah. You guys are like legends, man. That's amazing.
I told
Billy
you,
Wingfield
man,
set that. You set that bar.
we got one of those
He
groups.
set the bar. I remember watching Billy and wanting to be like Billy, running routes like Billy. I was like, oh man, why can't I be like sweet like Billy?
Stop it. But tell me more.
We're just wrapping up here in the next 10 minutes, so yeah, we're gonna break it all down. Trying to get final scores,
Stay here.
shout outs, everything, and then we're gonna wrap it up. I think it's gonna be tight. I got 28-24. I'm just going off of the past few years.
Tim, what do you got?
Past few
I
weeks,
got, like
man,
I said,
you know
I got
what
the
I'm saying?
over, and I'm thinking it's going to be high scoring, and I'm thinking it's going to be like about 49-42.
Woo! I like that.
Yep.
What about you, Andre?
I'm going the other direction. I'm still going with the over, but I'm going like 38-20.
Yeah, so I was going to go like 35-21 close, but then they put a cap on it.
Yeah,
like,
they get one of them late scores
Yeah,
and make
yeah.
it a 3-score game kind of deal.
No, yeah.
Yeah. But we'll see. At the end of the day, these dudes better win this game.
Just get the W.
Yeah.
And then we always end with the other question, so we'll start with you, Tim. Who do you want to see on this show? Anybody you played with? Anybody you want to hear from? Call somebody out.
I want to hear Jeb Putzier.
Ooh, yeah, we've heard his
I
name
want to hear
before,
from
yeah.
Jeb. I've seen him on Facebook and stuff. But
I met him once in Denver.
Yeah.
I had a couple of drinks with him in
Yeah,
Denver.
I want to say or hear from Jeb.
Yeah, that'd be definitely. I'd call in. What about you, Mr. Banks?
We gotta get, and I'll reach out to him, but we gotta get, like we mentioned earlier, the wig splitter, Shenard Hart.
Hard Hearts.
Is he coming out?
I'm gonna try to get him out here, but that's the thing. We gotta get Shenard Harts and Ryan Brinkley on here together.
Nice. It might need to be a
I'm
call-in.
telling you, like me and Tim are close.
Randy Selden.
I'm close with Bill. You know.
Where is he?
But we gotta. Ryan and Shenard are like brothers.
Yeah, they might. need to
They're
be
hanging
like
out. They
call-in guests.
both live in the Bay Area now together, and those two.
Are we giving recommendations right now?
You want to get you want to get
Well, that
sound
voice
bites.
you hear on the end is a drop-in guest. You saw him. His name's Billy Wingfield. It's
Yeah.
the wide receiver show goes on.
Man, look at what's going on over here. Dryzen James.
Dryzen James
Dryzen
just walked in
James.
too.
Right.
Man,
This is
Dryzen.
just great. This
Yeah.
is legacy.
Hey,
Right.
I'm telling you, man, we
That's
had a
what's
group
going
of
on here.
wideouts that was for real.
Yep.
Savages.
DEC.
So-
DEC.
They don't know about that.
DEC.
Billy, you want to give your numerical score down there instead of a lot to a little. You want to quantify
I haven't
that.
looked at the Vegas spread, man.
16.
16?
It started at 11 and went up to 16. Boise
Really?
State, so
In our favor, right?
a lot
at
of
home?
confidence
Yeah.
at Boise State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got the QB back, so I would say like 28 to 17.
All right.
Yeah.
There we go.
But I haven't
That's
been real
a good-
great on my guesstimates.
All right.
So I got a question though.
Go for it.
Have you guys all given your recommendations for who should come on next?
Yes.
Who
Yeah.
you guys say?
I said Jeb.
Buttier?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeb
That's
would
what I
be
was
good.
saying. Shenard
Jeb
and
would be
Brink.
good.
Shenard and Brink.
Shenard Brink should be like a call-in.
Yeah.
Any other like big personalities?
Big personalities.
Yeah.
Ooh. We got a lot of those.
You know who gave the best is either halftime or pregame speech ever? Is Jim Brecken.
Yes.
I don't know if
Jim's
y'all
in
remember
town.
that or not. Yeah.
Jim's in town.
It was memorable.
So,
I wonder
Billy,
if he
when
remembers
are you
it.
going to join us for the whole hour?
So I don't know if the guests in what is this podcast world know, but I was the very first.
That is true.
Yes.
That is true.
Last
The
season.
inaugural
Before
guest.
we had a camera.
Last
Right. And that was one of my strong recommendations, by the way.
I'm not rushing you down there, but I got a lot of wives looking at me, trying to
Trying to get it.
trying to wrap me up.
Trying to
yeah.
wrap you up.
Yeah.
That'd be all right, man. That'd be okay. Because I
They're
got
not
a
my
question.
wives. They're just other wives. Yeah.
That'd be all right, man. One more drink.
One more round.
One more round.
Nice.
So I haven't seen Tim Gilligan out in the community, helping out and sharing a lot of the skill and ability that he's gleaned from the program. And I was just wondering if this was a good opportunity for me to turn up the heat on the dials to see if we could take this moment and opportunity to reach out to him and see what his thoughts were on, just supporting football in the Treasure Valley in general and just making an appearance. We sure would love to have him.
So what exactly are we talking about, though? I mean, I was coaching my son's Optimist team.
Selfish.
So I was doing that. Yeah, selfish.
Emphasis on community.
Whatever you want.
Really?
Whatever you need. I gotta, like you said, I gotta share my share what I learned. I gotta share what I learned.
I'd love to have you out there, Gilligan.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I like how you look me in my eyes. Like,
Yeah, look at your eyes, yeah.
Because I called Dre up, like, hey, Dre.
Yeah.
Well, you got those pretty eyes.
Yeah.
I'm trying to use them on you. I'm working them right now.
Hey, don't look him in his eyes.
Yeah, we connected.
But we have a lot of dudes. I don't know if a lot of people out there know, we got a lot of dudes that are coaching.
Yeah.
A lot.
But not collectively coordinating our coaching, right?
Yeah.
Well,
We
high
got
school,
dudes
yeah.
at a lot of high schools. We got TJ Acres at Boise High right now.
Yeah.
My man Jarrell Root is with me at Capitol.
Jerry Smith's out there somewhere.
And we got Rob
I think he building
Vine.
houses.
Chuck
I don't know
Hayes
who
at
coaches.
Timberline.
Chuck Hayes.
Timberline's got 4 guys.
We got
T-Hall.
Nick Kalakai, T. Hall, Ian Smart.
Yeah, big
We
man.
gotta have the high school coaches show here.
Yeah.
Right,
got-
and so
we
my
got a
thought
lot.
process is we should all be coordinating so that we could create what a lot of us came from in terms of like that pipeline. So
Yeah, we'll make
we're
it
not-
happen. You know,
do it.
Okay.
we all a big family, man. We just gotta get it together and make it pop.
You think we could talk JT into coming out and helping out with a big man camp, even though he's not like big like he used to be?
We'll get him and Rob Vine out there and Jarrell Root. We'll
Still
make it
got
happen.
the hands.
Right.
Got the hands.
Right.
All right,
Those
should
ladder steps.
we wrap this up? You want to get anything else in before we go? Anybody?
Go Boise.
Go Boise.
Go Broncos.
Yeah,
All
go
right.
Broncos. baby.
Start fast, boys. And strong.
Are you guys actually going into the game?
They're on. All right, we're out.
All right.
Cut. We're good. Join us next week. Woo!